We're back with Glenn Sexton, Vice President and General Manager of Xerox Hawaii.
When was it that you found that you wanted to pursue the path of business?
Well, in school, I actually majored in English. I was going to go to law school. And what happened is while I was working part-time, I actually worked for a Xerox customer in a copy shop, copy center it was called, on Queen Street. And I interacted with all sorts of business people kind of around across the counter. I interacted with people from Xerox Corporation, but also many of our customers. So I had the opportunity to experience business from various perspectives. And I thought, at that time in your life, you think about, making a living and all those kinds of things, and those become, the forefront of your consciousness. And I thought, business is a great way to go. I mean, it's an opportunity to apply your skills in many different ways, and leadership, which I was already interested in, was definitely relevant to business.
What was it like transitioning into the lead position? Were there other employees that were there just as long as you were?
Actually, much longer. And it wasn't, I think, it wasn't too difficult. The first step in just becoming a manager and managing your peers, what were formerly your colleagues and peers, is always a challenge. And I did encounter that. But by the time I became the head of Xerox Hawaii, I had been pretty much in a leadership role for quite some time. So I think people saw me that way. I had the added advantage of leaving for a couple of years and coming back, which, by the way, I thought was extremely educational. I learned a lot about business, about myself, about the world. And I learned to appreciate Hawaii even more because just like anything else, sometimes when you're so close to something, you can't see it as well. You just detach yourself. You can see it much better. And I chose to come back, and I never regretted that decision.
Do you think that your attending so many different schools when you were younger helps you out now?
Yes, definitely. It makes you adaptable. But I feel for anyone that grows up in that situation, I think lots of military families have to deal with that. It's very, very tough. I mean, I think there are many disadvantages, and there are many advantages. But just like anything else, you've got to look for the advantages. At the same time, my wife and I decided that we really did not want our children to go through that experience either. So that was one of our guiding reasons for wanting to stay in Hawaii.
Were your parents also here in Hawaii?
They were for some time. They both now live in Washington State.
When you took the helm at the head spot at Xerox, you were 35.
Right.
What was that experience like, having to now manage people that were much older than you?
I think that if you respect others' experience and you demonstrate that, there's an awful lot of benefit from that approach. And I always have had to do that. I've done that because I think in living and in whatever you do, there's no substitute for experience. So I value that greatly. And we're very fortunate at Xerox to have many highly tenured employees. And, the best thing you can do is experience something. And you can't experience everything. So the second best thing to do is to sit down with someone who has experienced things that you have not and learn from that person. And I think if you take that approach as a leader in any situation, that people respect that and appreciate that.
How did you stay grounded through the whole thing of, being a leader at such a young age?
It's pretty humbling, I think. My disposition, my attitude toward the job was always long term. I mean, I was committed to being in Hawaii for the long haul. So performance and coming through and doing the job, it wasn't something I was just going to do quickly and leave. I think if you have that perspective, you tend to, take the long view and act more responsibly.
Mayor Hanneman has the leadership program, Pacific Century Fellows, which
Yes.
you participated in the beginning. Did that help you in this journey?
Quite a bit. That was an outstanding opportunity. It's an experience that I didn't know much about until I was nominated and ultimately selected. And that, more than any thing in my life, made me understand Hawaii as a community much more. Everything from business to the state government to the military. I think Mayor Hanneman's done a great job in educating many people like myself and you guys in that regard.
What's the most memorable experience you remember from that?
Well, there's a couple. One is going up to the Keck Observatory on the Big Island and breathing in 13,000 feet elevation. Another is going to a sink pack. And although I was in a military family, I had no idea really how important the military is to this state. And meeting with the generals and so forth, these people literally have a huge impact on the world, not just Hawaii. And that experience sensitized to me how important they are to Hawaii and how important Hawaii is to the world in that regard.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more on Greater Good Radio.